Once you've completed the process of applying your SkimStone, your Modello, and finishing up any decorative elements you're going to do on your substrate, you can go ahead and apply the SkimStone Protective Sealer. The SkimStone Protective Sealer is a water-based single-component urethane. It's a low-solid sealer, so that means that it's compliant throughout the U.S., VOC compliant that is. Because it's a low-solid sealer, the first coat of SkimStone sealer is going to penetrate into your concrete surface, and it's going to help out with your bond, but it's also going to sort of lock in the color that SkimStone has. SkimStone also has a very high pH balance. It sits at about 14 when it's wet, so the protective sealer will also help to block the pH balance. Typically speaking, on a residential application, we'll do 4 coats of the protective sealer. The protective sealer is going to give you a sort of high semi-gloss. If you wanted a different sheen, or if you were going into a commercial application, or a countertop, or a garage floor, or anything that sort of deviated from that residential light foot traffic floor, we have other sealer options that you can use, and we'll discuss all of those in the Pro Series. But for now, we're just going to show you how to apply the protective sealer. It's really, really easy. We like to use a paint pad. This particular one is Padco, that's the brand that we're using. And you can see that it's just sort of a foam pad with these sort of fuzzy little hairs on it. And so when we have a new pad, we'll take a piece of tape and duct tape and just sort of get all of the surface hairs that are coming off of the pad. And that will help us not have too many on the board that we're making or on the surface that we're sealing. Using a new pad is really important, and then when you're done sealing a floor, you can rinse that pad out really well or keep it in an airtight bag so that when you do your second and third coat, it's reusable and it hasn't dried to a hard sort of crusty brush. The protective sealer, you just want to give it a little bit of a rock it back and forth just to make sure that anything that's settled to the bottom is mixed back in. You don't want to shake it though, you don't want to induce any air into it, just a little rocking back and forth. If you do shake it, just let it sit for about 15 or 20 minutes, get all the air bubbles out of it. And then we will pour out a small amount onto the surface. Use your paint pad to spread the sealer on the surface. You'll notice that I don't really lift the paint pad off of the surface unless I'm at a stopping point, and then I sort of feather it out. But I can just move the sealer around. I don't put hardly any pressure on, just a little bit of light pressure to make sure that I'm not leaving any puddles. You don't want to puddle the sealer, and you also don't want to, streak it. So just spread it around nice and thin. It really is a low solid sealer, so the thinner the better, as thin as you can go without streaking it. One pass is best, really, really fast and simple. I can usually do about 1,000 square feet in about a half hour, so it's a really simple process to use that paint pad. Make sure you put your cap back on when you're finished, and that's it. That's the whole process of sealing SkimStone. Well, that concludes our introduction to SkimStone and Modello masking patterns. As you can see, we've really just scratched the surface as to what you can do artistically using these 2 different products. Just that simple technique that we showed you, we're showing here in 2 different colors, so just changing the color of the product that you're using will drastically change the look that you get.
If you'd like to learn more about how to use SkimStone and Modellos on a more professional level, say you're a decorative concrete contractor, a decorative painting contractor, or even a homeowner and you want to do a professional job in your own home, we have a wonderful advanced video series. It's a Pro Series, a continuation of what we've started here, and it's called Mastering Modello Patterns and SkimStone Surfaces.
The video series is going to touch on a lot of things that we already talked about, but really give you more detail.
Right.
More detail about mixing colors, all the different color variations that can be achieved with SkimStone. I especially love the way that you can incorporate big overall patterns with some of the more intricate carpet designs that you have.
Right. So I'm going to be sharing a lot of more simple techniques, but that have a very advanced look to them, using the masking patterns with different types of finishes, like incorporating mica powders, doing glazing, doing distressing, doing all over patterns. We're actually also going to do a start to finish floor project. So you're going to get to see a whole floor project from start to finish, starting with the prep and ending with a commercial grade top coat.
Yeah, the Pro Series is a perfect introduction to how to achieve artistic looks without necessarily having to be the world's best artist. Some of the looks that you've been able to get with SkimStone using the masking patterns are really great for people who have the skills to do big jobs, but also need to be able to incorporate the artistic side of the finishes into their work.
Yeah. Katrina and I hope that you've enjoyed this introductory video series and learned a little bit about SkimStone. If you want to take it to the next level though, we'd like to invite you to join us in the virtual workshop that we're offering, and we hope to see you there, and we'll have a lot more to share.